independent in thought, and punk rock in life. It's The Chad Benson Show.
Pursuant to the 20th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, the chair declares the 115th Congress adjourned sine die.
Oh, sine die, kids. Sine die. And like that, it's over. 215 out. Time to swear in some of the others. 200 and... just a bunch of people getting sworn in. All kinds of people getting sworn in. Right? So you got 115 gone. Bye. Have a wonderful day. 116 is here right now. We caught some of the audio from the swearing in.
The House will be in order.
I state your name.
I state your name.
Do hereby pledge allegiance to the frat.
Do hereby pledge allegiance to the frat.
With liberty and fraternity for all.
Amen.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It is a frat. Let's realize that. Shutdown still going on, right? Like that thing's still happening. What? Yeah, oh yeah. They're not getting anywhere. So shutdown still going on. They're fighting over all kinds of things. And now what the Democrats are going to do is the same thing the Republicans did when they had everything, knowing full well that they weren't going to get the 60 votes needed to get anything done as far as Obamacare, this, that, and the other, and he was never going to sign anything, is they're going to play a game where they're going to throw out a bunch of bills that won't get signed or voted on because already today you've got the likes of Mitch McConnell saying, I'm not going to sign anything whatsoever.
Well, it's a new, more diverse Congress than ever. It's the same old stalemate. As Democrats take control of the House, they plan to bring up two bills that had previously passed the Senate before the shutdown began that would reopen the government. The first one would reopen all agencies for funding through the end of the fiscal year, except the Department of Homeland Security. The second bill would give the department about a month's worth of funding so they could hammer out a deal on border security. And while they are expected to pass after everyone's sworn in this afternoon, they're not likely to go anywhere. The majority leader in the Senate said he's not going to, quote, waste their time on bills the president has no intention of signing.
So this is what it's going to be. They've got all kinds of things. And there's a lot of moving parts here, right? Because you got some newcomings in. You got the, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez coming in, and she's got there's a certain progressive group that wants no part of what Nancy and the moderate Democrats have to offer, like pay-go, because they want to get rid of pay-go. If you don't know what pay-go is you pay as you go, right? It's basically called being an American, right? We got to pay as we go kind of thing. And eventually your credit cards are going to run out, even if you got some of that credit. Well, they want to eliminate that because it gets in the way of their agenda. And we're going to touch on that a little bit later. They want to, just a few things. The first thing they want to do is they want to pass a bill that would essentially look at anybody who's a candidate for president, once they become the candidate-elect, 10 years of tax returns. It starts, it'll be small, and it's coming. So get ready for it. This is what it's going to be. Diversity, kids. So with all of this stuff going around, the swirling, out goes 115, in comes 116, it's about diversity as much as it is anything else.
They're younger, bluer, and more diverse than ever. In total, 127 women will serve in the 116th Congress being sworn in today. New members include several firsts, such as the first two Muslim women from Michigan and Minnesota. They'll take the oath of office on a Quran that belonged to Thomas Jefferson. We'll also see the first Native American women and the first African American women from several states.
There you go. So diverse matters. It's diverse. It's what matters most. No, I think what matters most is getting stuff done. I've said that over and over. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if they really are blue. I don't care if they're blue, they're atheist, right? They're non-gender specific entities. Are you going to get the job done? That's what matters. We've got a shutdown still going on. We've got poop and fecal matter all over our national parks, trash everywhere. It's a nightmare because nobody wants to budge. Nobody. And the question is going to be for the president, is what is it going to be like for the coming weeks, months, and years, 2 of them, when it comes to what's happening for him, for Chuck, for Nancy? How ugly is it going to get? Is it going to be all about destroying him, or are there going to be other things that are going to happen? See, I like to make it easy for everybody. Let's have some fun with this. What if it was, for all intents and purposes, a movie trailer? And we're going to look into what's going to be coming. Let's say this one is a suspenseful kind of horror thing.
This Thursday, sometimes to beat a monster.
We're asking the president to open up government. We are giving him a Republican path to do that. Why would he not do it?
You have to be a monster.
Could be a long time, or it could be quickly. Could be a long time. It's too important a subject to walk away from.
Congress.
And Mr. President, give me one good reason why you should continue your shutdown. He could not give a good answer.
Trump.
The $5.6 billion is such a small number.
The Wall. Now playing.
And it's all good, but it's just very minor compared to the power of a wall.
Yeah. So you got that going on. The battle that's going to happen. The fight that's happening right now over the wall. Semantics is a name. It's a wall. It's not a wall. It's slats. It's this, that, and the other. There's so many ways you can come up with this. People say, a lot of people asked me yesterday, well, why didn't they go nuclear? Here's the thing about the nuclear option. Everybody thinks, well, Harry Reid went nuclear. He did, but not for the reasons that people think. They think he went nuclear for Obamacare. He didn't. They had more than enough votes. I think they had 67 votes. They changed the rule to go nuclear, right? So that's where you only need a 51 votes. That's it. In Senate to get things through. They did that for judicial nominees, not the Supreme Court, for appointments, cabinet, things. That's why they did that. That's why. So if you were to put in place, because you have to go through the whole thing, you have to put this thing in place, what you would end up doing is taking away the filibuster, taking away some of the checks and balances, and Democrats and Republicans, moderates and even some really strong Democrats and Republicans, they don't want to do that. They don't want to take away the checks and balances. So that's why they didn't do that for the wall. Because if you go and change that, and I'm not talking about just for, you have to go change the whole thing. You can't just say, oh, just because right now the way it is, it's for cabinet members. They vote upon that. And for things like judicial appointments, not the Supreme Court, which is what the Republicans did for the last 2. They changed that and went nuclear there. And they told Harry Reid, you're going to regret this. Chuck Schumer even said in 2013, I wish he wouldn't have done it. And why did the Democrats do it? Well, they were pissed because the Republicans were filibustering and not allowing cabinet members to be appointed. They did, and the Bush, same thing with Bush. They had frustration, and they threatened to do it originally first. So that's why they didn't do it. But they eventually, Harry Reid went forward. Everybody said he's going to regret it, and he has. But they've not really taken that next step, which you would have to change the rules. And that would open up for a free-for-all of majority rather than trying to get the 60 votes. That's why they haven't done it. And that's why they didn't do it. And that's why we're in the position we're in. But we're fighting over a name. It's a wall. It's a slat. It's a wall. It's a slat. It's a wall. Slat. Wall. Slat. Whatever. Here's how you solve this. Mr. President, between you, me, and the fence post, we're going to put $40 billion into immigration and homeland security this year. $32 million will be allocated for drones and laser beams and cameras and all of this other stuff that, that is needed. That we have some things. They don't really stop anything. And then there's going to be $8 billion in a slush fund over here. Do what you want with it, right? Say you took it out of this, say you took it out of that, where you can legally say you did that, and go from there. Everybody walks away a winner. Nobody feels hurt. Pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple. The problem is everybody wants 100% of the victory all the time. And we've done that to our politicians, and we hold them so ridiculously accountable for everything because in many ways we're selfish. We want it all, or it's not a world of all or nothing. It's not. You're going to be very disappointed in life if it's all or nothing. Very disappointed. And that's the problem we have now. It's about give and take. Here's something I'm willing to give, but I'm going to take this over here. What are you going to take? What are you going to give? And instead, it's like, I can't be seen with you. I can't give you anything because it'll be seen as a loss for me and a victory for you and vice versa. And we can't get on. It's not a victory for America, Americans, the voters, the taxpayers. It's a loss for them or them. Sad. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. I was talking to Phil today. Coachella rolled out, and that's probably the biggest, I would say, right? There's a few other ones, but Coachella's massive. And I confession, my son who's 8 has got me hooked on Post Malone. Normally we just make fun of Post Malone, but I kind of like Post Malone. And so Coachella rolled out today. It's music. And I've heard of Childish Gambino. What's his real name? Donald Glover?
That's him.
That's him? I have heard of none of these other ones, including a band called Tame Impala, which is going to be headlining April 13th and 20th. They're Australian. They're a rock band. I've never heard of them. I'm like, oh, God, get off my lawn. Get off. I feel horrible. Ariana Grande, I've heard of her, right? But I'm like reading there's a band called Gasaffelstein. Sounds like a place we bombed. Oh, yeah, did you guys hear? We bombed Gasaffelstein. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. When did you know you were getting older? Was it the music? Was it one of those things where you sneezed one day and your back went out? You ever done that? That's when you know what happened. I sneezed and my back went out. So sad. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. AMAC wants to work with you, wants to help you. Doesn't matter what you're doing, right? You're over the age of 50. They want to be able to help you. Politically, they're going to advocate for you on amazing things like stopping government-run health care, right? They fought hard to stop the single-payer system that so many wanted and still want to enact, by the way. How about immigration reform? Yeah, they're going to fight for you. Social Security reform? Absolutely. Top of that, they got benefits. Too numerous to mention, but just say that 40% off movie tickets, up to 40% off theme parks, Legoland, Disneyland, SeaWorld, things like that. And it's free to join. 1 year free. Go to amac.us/Chad. That's amac.us/Chad. It's incredible. They're an organization that is really the conservative alternative to what ARP is, and they're ready for you. Again, it is free to join. Go to amac.us/Chad. 1 year free. It's on me. amac.us/Chad. AMAC is better for you, better for America. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. ChadBenson. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
I'm looking at the Coachella lineups. This is one of the bands that's going to be playing their headlining. They're called Tame Impala. I'm going to be honest with you, they sound like a lot of other bands. They're from Australia. G'day. But I was talking earlier, producer Phil, you'll be happy to know this. I was talking earlier to a few of the millennials that work around this place, many of them in their early 20s to mid-20s, and they hadn't heard of 90% of the people either. I'm starting to think that they're just making things up. But Phil and I came up with a brilliant idea, producer Phil and I did just a little while ago. We're going to have Coachella. And what that's going to consist of is we're going to go pick the greatest artist of all time and their best moments live. We're going to put it together in one long video, and we're just going to stream it, and you can just chill at home and listen to the music and relax. You can fast forward through the people you don't want to see, right? There you go. We're not going to charge. If you want to, we'll charge you $50 for a water, right? But think about that. Coachella? Oh, goodness me, kids. That is the kind of thing that makes my heart smile. You know what else makes my heart smile? The stock market. But right now, my heart's crying.
The Dow Jones losing 660 points, down 2.8% Thursday after guidance from Apple on Wednesday night that a slowdown in China's economy has affected sales. That sent a ripple through U.S. markets. Apple lost nearly 10%, helping send other tech companies lower. The sector sank 5%, marking the worst day for tech in 7 years. Elsewhere, Boeing, Caterpillar, Nike, and others also saw losses. The tech-heavy NASDAQ lost 3% Thursday. The S&P lost 2.5%.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly, and Apple really was the catalyst for this, and it's potential to get ugly here. You know, Trump, you got excited about it when you were in the lead with the stock market. You got to step up and say, hey, look, I'm it. The buck stops with me, up or down.
They attributed much of the weakness to China, and that sparked fears of a broader slowdown in the Chinese economy, which is a very important part of the global economy. And so we had many stocks that were related to Apple experience a good bit of weakness.
Here's the thing. If you've got a 401k, unless you're pulling out from it and you're starting your retirement now, it is what it is. Market's going to go down, market's going to go up. Market's going to go down, market's going to go up. Market's going to go down, market's going to go up. But sometimes it'll take 3 steps backwards. It will eventually take 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 steps forward. Then it'll take a few more steps backwards. Our economy's still good, but there's some fears out there globally. Got a lot of debt. There's a trade war. A lot of things happening here. But I just wouldn't throw the baby out yet with the bathwater. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. The Green New Deal. What in God's name is that? Very interesting. There was a fight in the Democratic Party in Congress. Yeah, but you didn't know that. That's one of the things to be looking for. You think it's Trump and the Dems? Ooh, look at the Dems and the Dems. That's going to be very interesting as well. And Carl's Jr. That's not meat, is it? Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Madam Clerk, the Speaker-elect, Nancy Pelosi of the state of California.
Oh, listen to yeah. It's good to see Nancy winning some, right? You didn't think she was going to win anything, but she won, kids. She won. But it wasn't easy. And for all of the talk about the battle that's going to happen between Donald Trump and the Democrats, led by Nancy and Chuck, Nancy's got a wing in her party that is battling her already, led by a very progressive group of new, brand new, fresh, wet behind the ears senators and congresspeople who are, you know, either in the middle of their first term and or starting their first term today. And their whole thing is they're progressive. They're not Democrats. They want to spend. They want to tax. They want control. They want social justice. They want justice for the environment. They want justice for race, gender, non-gender, you name it. They want to progress from it. And Ocasio-Cortez is really the one who gets a lot of the press, right? And I always say this, and I'll say it again. She's 3 bills. She's not getting the press. Can we all agree on that? Okay, thank you. But she's got the Green New Deal, and she's rolled it on out. Now, what is the Green New Deal? Very interesting, because she's already put it out. Her office has already put out the Green New Deal, and it sounds like, oh, Green New Deal, like money, right? Like Phil said, I want the Green New Deal. That's money, dollar bills, cheddar, cabbage. No. Listen.
It's not just possible that we will create jobs and economic activity by transitioning to renewable energy, but it's inevitable that we are going to create jobs. It's inevitable that we're going to create industry. And it's inevitable that we can use the transition to 100% renewable energy as the vehicle to truly deliver and establish economic, social, and racial justice in the United States of America.
There you go. So through windmills and solar, gender equality, racial justice will happen. It's happening, right? Like, that's it. No more, the wealth disparity will shrink. All of it because, hey, I got solar panels. I did my part. Look, a few things. First and foremost, a lot of people on the right side of the aisle go after her, right? They do. Even some people on the left, a sort of establishment attack her. She's easy to make fun of. She has some missteps, obviously. She doesn't understand how a lot of this stuff works. Even on her side of the aisle, they're like, slow your roll. I mean, it's easy. But that's because they're kind of afraid of her. Let's be real. They are. Because whether you like her policies or her politics or not, or the moderate Democrats who are just Democrats like her policies, the reality is she's got a following. And for a generation that is her age and below, they like her. And guess what? They're coming out for her. They are. They are. Now, she wants to, and she has missteps. Let's be honest. She has missteps, and that's part of it. She's new at this game, and everybody's willing to. She's one of those people, too, where she likes to talk, right? She's not going to say no to an interview, although we've asked her to come on, but she's not going to say no to an interview. Right? She's got that Chuck Schumer in her, right? What's the most terrifying place to be between Chuck Schumer and a microphone? She's fine with that. So she's willing to do stuff like this. She's okay with it. Claire McCaskill last week, her side called her the shiny new toy, the shiny new thing, something like that. I mean, and again, you're going to have issues. They voted against Pelosi. They didn't want Pelosi because they don't think she represents what her constituents, what she thinks young America wants and where it's going. But she does have flubs.
That is our proposal, and that is what we are here to do, because in the depths of darkness, in the depths of despair, which what we last saw, when we think about where we were when the New Deal was established, we were a nation in depression, in Great Depression. We were a nation on the brink of war. We saw the rise of fascism creeping across in Europe. And no one would thought that a nation so poor, so scarce, and so in such dire straits as we were in that time could pursue such a bold economic agenda.
She's got big plans for this. 100% renewables. That's what she wants in this. She wants 100% renewal. She thinks that through this, that there is going to be racial, regional, and gender bias inequities are going to be taken care of. Income and wealth inequities are going to be distributed fairly. Marginalized communities will not be marginalized, and they will have a way to build up wealth and ownership, but at the community level. Universal income, Medicare for all. And as always, it all sounds great. Everything sounds awesome. But there's a question that needs to be answered. Who pays for it? And you can't just say, well, we're going to tax people, right? We're just going to tax the hell out of people. It doesn't work that way. Remember, rich people are mobile, right? They'll go places. People are like, I'm moving out of America. Yeah, you make $50,000 a year. Yeah, nobody's hiring you. Nobody's taking you, right? A rich person, $20 million, $50 million, $100 million. They're like, I'm going to Switzerland. Switzerland's like, hello there. It all sounds great. It does. And when it comes to renewables, this is what I tell my friends on the left. You guys miss the point. Stop treating it with your heart, right? Treat it with your pocketbook. Tell people there's so much money to be made in this. It's like printing money. You want to get people excited? Who cares? Let me tell you something. The right, because that's who it is. Always climate deniers on the right. Always climate deniers on the right. Always climate. These people are idiots. They're always climate deniers. Although I will have to say I have several friends on the left who are a wee bit of the climate deniers out there as well, quote unquote. But if you want to get people involved that aren't involved, stop tugging at their heartstrings because it's not going to work. Tug at their pocketbook, show them, changes a lot of things. But she wants a lot of this stuff. And this is the battle that's coming with Nancy Pelosi. This is the battle right here. And that battle is pretty easy to see. There is a progressive coastal side, of which Nancy is one of them. But she is a Democrat that, while sounds extremely to the people on the right like she's some radical, the reality is she fights for her base. She's been around a long time. What her daughter said yesterday is 100% true. If you didn't hear what her daughter said about her, listen to this.
She'll cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding. That's all you need to know about her. No one ever won betting against Nancy Pelosi. She's persevered. You got to give her credit. No matter what you think of her, you have to give her credit because think about it. Think about all those presidents she's endured. The Bush, the Clinton, she's been through it all. So she's been around. This is not her first rodeo. So she knows what she's doing. And that should make you sleep at night, knowing that at least somebody in this town knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's her daughter. Great documentarian, by the way, her daughter. But she's right about some things. You got to give her credit. She stuck around. She came in an old boys club 3 decades ago, and she stuck around. She maneuvered the swamp. She became part of the swamp. Then she became a dominant part of the swamp. But this younger generation doesn't care. This younger generation cares about what Manhattan, right? And the Upper East Side in New York feel, and Manhattan Beach, and SoCal feels, and Seattle. They care about that. And there's going to be a huge divide in the Democratic Party, and the fight is coming. Already they voted against stuff. They want to get rid of PAYGO. If you don't know what PAYGO is, that's essentially the austerity measures where if you want a program, great. Here's your $50 million. You got to cut $50 million, though. She wants to get rid of it. She wants to print money. She wants to do a lot of things. It all sounds wonderful. But the question is, how are you going to pay for it? That's it. It's all the question I ask. I just want to know what you're going to do. What are you going to do to pay for it? Like, it's a fair question. We don't need to call each other names. I don't want to fight with you. I want to do it. I just want to know how you're going to pay for it. How you're really going to pay for it. Because the Medicare for All, at best, is $3 trillion a year. You're going to have to double corporate tax rates, double personal income for everybody tax rates from where they used to be, not where they are now. And it's still not going to cover it. It all sounds good until the check arrives at the table, and then you think to yourself, I probably shouldn't have got an appetizer and dessert. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Speaking of appetizers and dessert, I just want to tell you guys this. I like a burger. You like a burger.
In its 77-year history, the company that gave birth to Carl's Jr. has never tried to hide its carnivorous nature.
The Bacon Three-Way Burger with 100% Black Angus beef.
It's a formula that's worked well, although, says the company's Newton Hong,
we try to stay in front of the trends as much as we possibly can. So it really is a matter of us keeping our finger on that pulse.
Now the burger chain is adding a plant-based alternative to its menu. A meatless version of the Carl's Jr. famous Star Burger will go for $6.29 at most locations.
Now, I'm a burger connoisseur. I love a burger. In fact, I've had the best burger I've ever had in my life from a restaurant was an Italian restaurant in Newport Beach, California, and everybody it was a very shishi place. They had a Kobe burger. I got it. It was the best burger I've ever had. It was also like $50, right? But it was the most incredible burger I'd ever eaten. It was incredible. I've had burgers from all over. I love a burger. I do. The meatless thing, I don't care if you're meatless. I don't. But I've always been curious of why people who don't want to eat meat want the thing that they want to eat that isn't meat to taste like meat. And very rarely do you find anything that's anywhere close to it. So what they're doing now, they've got this new thing. It's called Beyond Meat. Investors are Bill Gates, Leonardo DiCaprio.
We want to be that group of humans that have separated meat from animals. And if we can, at the end of the day, look back on the work we've done over many decades to achieve that and have done that, that's a pretty substantial feat.
And I've talked to several people. We talked about it earlier today, and several people said, look, the Beyond Meat is really good. It's close. And I said, I'm going to try it. Like, I got no problem. I will try it. Right? Like, I got zero problem. But I am a person that my 7-year-old palate is very delicate when it comes to stuff, and I can tell. I've had friends try to sneak a burger by me. You ever had that, Producer Phil? Somebody try to sneak some fake meat by you?
Yeah, why would they do that?
You could tell. Like you could tell. So I'm willing to try it, but I told everybody I'll try it, but you can give me your money. You can give me your money if it sucks. I want my money back. I do. What are they trying to do now? They're trying to do meatless meat that also bleeds. That feels like special effects for your food. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from you. My pillow. Got my Go Anywhere pillow. Traveling, doing a lot this weekend. Good to see Jack. Got big doings. Oh, God. You know what? One of his, I said, Jack, what are your goals for New Year's? Because we need resolutions for your goals. He says, I want to learn to ice skate. And all I thought of is, I'm too old to fall on the ice in jeans. Because, when you get older, you fall and you stay fault. Right? So we're going to go ice skating, but we'll be traveling this weekend. I got my Go Anywhere pillow. Why? Because my pillow helps me sleep. And the more I sleep, the better I feel. That's the absolute truth. 2019 is here. You want to sleep better. You want to have better sleeping habits. And with those habits, oh, man, lose some weight, better blood pressure, healthier all around. That's what great sleep will do for you. 100% machine washable and dryable, made in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. Right now, my listeners, that's you guys. Get a little BOGO. Buy one, get one. Call 800-944-4975 or go to MyPillow.com. When you do, use the promo code Benson. It's MyPillow.com. Promo code Benson, 800-944-4975. MyPillow.com. Promo code Benson. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson. Chad Benson Show.
Feel free to punk this punk rocker any time of the day or night. Reach Chad on Twitter at Chad Benson Show and on Instagram at Chad Benson Show. And oh yeah, the Chad Benson Show on Facebook too. Punk that.
This is Star Talk.
The National Geographic Channel says it's holding new episodes of Star Talk until the investigation into astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson is completed. Last year, 2 women publicly accused Tyson of inappropriate behavior, accusations Tyson denies, and he also says he welcomes an investigation, which is being done by Fox and Nat Geo, both of which produce shows with Tyson. The new season of Star Talk started airing in November and will stay off the air until the results of the investigation are in.
Ooh, he's creepy. You want to see my asteroid? You've a nice asteroid. Chad, it's not very nice. You know what, though? It's funny, right? Like, it was, you look at people in certain areas, and if they've done something or been accused of something, it is, you're done. I like what Fox is doing. Let's figure it out. Were you made completely uncomfortable? Was it were you perceived to be sexually harassed when it was a joke and you took it that way? Did he expose himself? I mean, like, I think it's fair that we ask the question because we love to snap and destroy, right? And I like what they're doing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's good because you should have a full and comprehensive review and investigation before we make Snapchat. We don't do that, though. We don't do it. We never do that anymore because all we care about is the judgment. We're going to judge and then we're gone. That's it. What are you doing? I'm judging, then I'm leaving. I'm very judgy. And I don't care about the outcome, right? And when you have human beings' lives at stake, both the people that are potentially the victim and the person who's being accused, those are lives at stake. And we should do that. We should look at everything. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us, Coachella. I will not be going again this year, but I am happy to report that while there are bands I recognize, there's a lot I don't.
This is America. Childish Gambino is one of 3 main headliners at the Coachella Festival in California this April, officially known as the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. He'll perform at each of the event's 2 consecutive weekends. So will fellow headliners Ariana Grande and Australian rock band Tame Impala. The lineup so far includes 165 acts in all. Rock, pop, R&B, hip-hop, and more. Tickets go on sale Friday.
Yeah, they'll sell out in 2 seconds. But I was like, Idris Elba, who's the actor, apparently he's going to be performing. I don't know if he plays an instrument. Maybe he does. There's a couple bluegrass artists in there. Wiz Khalifa, I recognized Wiz. Like, you know what's weird, too? You can always tell who's doing really well and who's not based on the size of the font you get in the Coachella poster. And one time, Wiz was up there. His font was like the second biggest. It's getting a little smaller now. It is. I can't wait to see was it Weezer Khalifa? They should totally do something. They should mash it up. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tomorrow we'll announce our lineup for Coachella. So get ready for that. That's where you're just going to stream stuff, because who wants to pay that much money to sit around with a bunch of obnoxious people? Not me. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
I have never had anything like it in terms of calls coming in terms of people writing in and tweeting and doing whatever they have to do. I've never had this much support, and we've done some things that, as you know, have been very popular.
Trump talking about the border wall. Just a weird situation today. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders comes out, right? You know, she's in her little room at the press briefing room. Then followed by what looks like, a bunch of bodyguards, a bunch of big dudes, shaved heads, the whole 9 yards. And they're all part of immigration, ICE, the whole 9 yards, Border Patrol, all that stuff. Then she announces president. Trump comes out, talks about the wall, how we need the wall. Then, boom, he's gone. Then these guys give like this speech. And then it's, I don't know how popular it really is. In your echo chamber, everything is popular. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle it is, right? Like, if you ask somebody on the left about, in my world, climate change is vitally important and green energy is it's never been more popular than it is now. You ask people on the right, well, we need a wall, but realistically, how popular is it, right? Because moderates and common sense folk, which is the exhausted majority, we can take it or leave it, right? Like, if they put a wall up, I'm not going to scream and yell that we're some xenophobic, racist country. If they don't put a wall up, I'm not going to say it was a failure, because there's so many other things that go into immigration. But for him, it's about getting this thing done. That's what it is about. And, we're forgetting that there is a shutdown going on right now, right? There is no end in sight. They're going to vote to do something tonight. Nothing's going to happen. We're in that situation where, because today it was all about what? It was all about Nancy Pelosi. And Trump, by the way, mentioned Nancy Pelosi today because, of course, she is now the Speaker of said House.
I just want to start off by congratulating Nancy Pelosi on being elected Speaker of the House.
Yeah, good. It's good. And it was an uphill battle for the weeks and month and a half or so leading up to this. And there's a lot of people out there on the progressive side of the Democratic Party that are going to be just a big pain in her ass as she thinks Trump is, and she understands that. But he wants the wall. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know if they can agree on anything. Here's one thing I do know. You can have all the show votes you want, as the Republicans understand, but as Mitch McConnell says, I'm not going to pay any attention.
The Senate will not waste its time considering a Democratic bill which cannot pass this chamber and which the president will not sign.
And people yesterday and for the last couple of weeks asked me, Chad, why don't we do the nuclear option? And there's a reason for that. The nuclear option was used originally, not for Obamacare. And everybody thinks it wasn't Obamacare. It wasn't. The Obamacare passed, I think it's 67 votes in the Senate. It passed easily. It wasn't for that. It was actually for federal judicial judges, right? Circuit court judges, things like that. Cabinet members, people that were appointed. Originally, Bush was going to use it because he couldn't get anything through, and then they decided not to. And then Obama and Harry Reid, and they said, okay, we're going to do this because we're having issues with this. And everybody said, you're going to regret this. And then it was used for the last two Supreme Court nominees. And that wasn't supposed to happen either. They changed the rules because when you do the nuclear option, you have to change the rules. And if you were to change the rules on something like this, then you're opening up to a free-for-all where there is no checks and balances. It's just majority. And that's not what the Founding Fathers wanted. And common sense Republicans, common sense conservatives, logical Democrats that are out there, they're like, no. We can't. That's something. We don't want a free-for-all where it's just majority rules. There are checks and balances for a reason. That's why they haven't done that. I think a lot of people just think, you had it. But you did have it. You had opportunities. And I say this along the way, and I've said it since. Trump gave them what they wanted when it came to DACA, and that wasn't something that people want to talk about. But months ago, he gave them what they wanted. They wanted a path to citizenship, whole 9 yards. He even upped the ante with, I think, expanding the number of DACA recipients that would be eligible. And Schumer and them said no, which shows you everything that you need to know about how political this thing is.
The president said, I am going to shut the government down. They are now feeling the heat. It is not helping the president. It is not helping the Republicans to be the owners of this shutdown. Today, we gave them an opportunity to get out of that and open up the government as we debate border security. And to say to them, because he says he won't sign it and use the government as hostage, we should just give in. The American people don't want that. That's bad for our country, and that's not the way to govern.
In your echo chamber, the American people don't want it. In his echo chamber, the American people do want it. So what do? There's a fix here. But because we live in a world of victories only, 100%, period, case closed, or else nothing, who's going to blink first? Who is going to blink first? That is what I want to see. Who's going to blink first? Because you can say, all right, here's the deal. Trump, check this out. President. We're going to give $40 billion. We're going to dedicate $40 billion. Hold on, slow your roll. We're not going to put a wall in this. But what we are going to do is we're going to leave you $8 billion of discretionary money that you can do whatever you want with. Right? Just go out, you do whatever the hell you want with it. But we're not going to have something attached to the bill that says a wall. If you go and build a wall, that's on you because we gave you money for that. We'll leave it loosely worded so you can do that. But the problem is without that victory for Trump in the base, even though he would go and do it, it wouldn't be the, ha-ha, look, I got what I got. And that's the frustration because we want 100% of nothing now rather than 70% of something. And that is sad. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us.
In the airline industry, Herb Kelleher was an icon, appearing in his company's commercials early on.
At Southwest Airlines, we want our passengers to spend their time in the air.
He created a powerhouse airline, one that built its image on being fun and casual on board, no seat assignments, and flying only the Boeing 737. Southwest Airlines confirms Kelleher has died at the age of 87. The airline calls him a maverick and an innovator. Southwest tweeting out a message reading simply, quote, "We already miss you, Herbie."
Yeah. $2.5 billion. That's what he was worth. And if you've ever flown on Southwest, God, I remember it was like the first real, like, wow, super cheap. It was like, it was a party in the air. I remember, I'm sure you've flown on it a few times, Producer Phil, the Southwest airline party bus. I flew on it like 20 some years ago, where this is how crazy it was. Because remember, it was a free for all. It was like, all right, here's the deal. We're gonna. It was festival seating, right? I flew on it at a time where they had a table in the back, and 2 seats were, facing one direction, and another 2 seats were facing another direction. It was crazy, and I was just like, wow. It's like it was, you get peanuts, and they're doing jokes and the whole 9 yards, and it made flying fun, and it made it super cheap, right? To this day, it's like I get those things, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Like if I buy now, like especially when I go see Jack, when I fly out to San Diego, where they'll say, hey, we're going to have a one-day flash sale where it's $39 each way. You can't beat that. I mean, it's insane to think I'm getting on an airplane, flying to San Diego and from San Diego with taxes and everything for like $110. It's crazy. Man, that's crazy. That's nuts. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. People, so we were talking about Coachella, which is the big festival, the arts and music festival going on. It's probably I would say it's definitely top 2 or 3 biggest festival. I mean, it came along and it's just really solidified itself. And that's where a lot of the soon-to-be stars and the mega stars are playing. This year, I know very little of them, but, I'm too, get off my lawn kind of guy. Is the way I feel. Although when I talk to a bunch of millennials, they don't know 90% of them either. It's almost to the point where Coachella is trying to be so hip for the room that it's out hipping the hipsters with some of the bands. Like, oh, you don't know this band because they don't even exist yet, but they will by the time Coachella rolls around. But we're going to have Couchella, and tomorrow we're going to announce the lineup. And that is going to be, we're going to get like 20 bands, and we're going to put together Couchella. And we'll just stream it. People could just sit at home and watch it. Don't have to go anywhere, right? You could fast forward through the bands you don't want to. It'll be great. What are the bands you'd like to see? Is it Rush? You'd like to see Rush. I know.
I'd love
Phil's
to see
like
Rush one more time.
Yeah, so there you go. Rush, right? We'll get some great stuff. Queen, right? Because here's the beauty of Couchella, because you're streaming it. Could be somebody who's no longer with us. We do a little Queen. I'm good with that, right? Right? Who would you like to see? Could be Captain and Tennille. How weird would that be, seeing as he passed away yesterday? 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. She took the SAT. She didn't do so well on the SAT. She took it again, did really well, and they said, hold on a second. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Warning, no snowflake zone. Uninformed opinions are in danger of melting. The Chad Benson Show.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi throwing cold water on climate change deniers.
The entire Congress must work to put an end to the inaction and denial of science that threaten the planet.
The Democrats controlling just the House are unlikely to change that. Andy Field, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
So you listen to old Andy there, and first of all, one of the things I was just telling producer Phyllis, I find it, you as a reporter shouldn't perpetuate that people who don't buy hook, line, and sinker everything as a climate change denier. People say you're a climate change denier. I don't deny that the climate changed, and I don't deny that we as human beings have a part in it. Do I deny how much? And do I deny the way that you want to go about, I would like to deny the way that you want to go about handing everything over to the government with our energy. For a lot of people out there, they would be fine with us tomorrow getting off fossil fuels in a second. And I will say this, I'm totally fine with that too. If we can find a way to do it in a right way that isn't going to destroy and or cripple our economy, right? And make 2007 look like a party. I don't want to remake stuff because you want to feel better. And when you go and you insult people and you perpetuate something like that, it doesn't work. Just because I don't believe everything that you do doesn't mean I deny it. And I think that's the thing that pisses people off. Again, I don't deny that the climate change. I don't deny that we have a part to it. How much of the effect is there? Because I think we can have that debate. I think it's a fair debate to have. You know, you go and you look and say, hey, there used to be palm trees where there's now giant slabs of ice, and there used to be water where there's now sand. You can talk about those things. I think it's fair. And you can't blame humans on that. So why can't we have a real conversation? But when you're a reporter, I'm thinking you can't. That's something you shouldn't do right there. That's something you shouldn't do. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Several people tweeted in because I said, so we're going to do Coachella, and tomorrow we're going to announce our Coachella with Coachella, the big festival, announcing their lineup. Coachella, which is going to be our big thing. Which band would you want to see? Singer, band? They could be dead, right? They could be alive. And I joked and I said, you wanted to see Rush, and like 3 quick text, Rush. You know? You want to see, I don't know who you want to see, right? Like, could be anybody. But if we had 20 bands, like, who would be your top list if you could see? It's going to be Queen. I'd love to see Queen, right? Like, Freddie puts on a show. He does. I watched Queen the other night in, I think it was Budapest. It was like 1986. It was just not too long after Live Aid, and it was just, it was great. Like, yeah, I'd like to see that. Again, they could be live or dead. It'd be very interesting to see what that would look like. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. And again, today, Nancy Pelosi, right, is taking over. She's very excited. She is now going to be running everything in the House. Doesn't mean that anything's going to get done because, as we all know, not a lot's going to get done because they can't agree on anything. But she is now the Speaker of said House.
The tellers agree in their tallies that the total number of votes cast is 430, of which the Honorable Nancy Pelosi of the state of California has received 220.
So what's the agenda between trying to stave off the progressive side of her party and taking on Trump? Already they're looking at taxes, new bills where there's going to be, 10 years of tax returns for anybody who becomes a candidate for president. So once you get the nomination, you got to turn in 10 years of tax returns. That's going to be dead in the water. They're going to do a lot of stuff, but the investigations are going to start. They're going to start in earnest. Come Monday, they're going to start in earnest. And here's something else. You haven't heard a lot from Mueller, right? Haven't heard a lot from Mueller. Been very quiet. So you're going to get tons of investigations, and a few people have already floated the idea that it's time to start impeachment proceedings. They're ready for that. They're going to introduce articles of impeachment. So, and I think Nancy will fight that off because she's looking and going, the country doesn't want that. They don't want that. She can see, all right, that's not something, unless there's something just so egregious that they find, they don't want that. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to try. And for the next year or two, it's going to be very interesting, very, very interesting for President Trump and Nancy, because in some weird ways, they may become better allies to one another than people think. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Healthcare getting expensive. Yeah. More expensive. Yeah. Why are we talking about it? Oh, yeah. Why not? I know, right? Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
independent in thought, and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
From hedge funds to passive investors, from bond markets to stock markets to different sectors of the stock market to corporate spreads, they all exhibit the same kind of apprehensiveness on the trajectory of the global economy.
Yeah, the market is down again today, 600 plus points. Apple not doing so well. People freaking out about it. You know, Trump touts it. Trump's got to take it, right? You wanted the economy. It's yours. The buck stops with you. Do I put all the blame? No, but there are some issues here. And as we head into 2019 and you listen to a lot of the people out there who have a good understanding, they don't tout the fact that hey, I got the last one right. But look at indicators across the board that we may be heading to a slowdown. And the best way to really decide how strong your economy is what's that landing going to be like? Are we crashing, right? Is this, the captain's put on your seatbelt sign, put your head between your knees, kiss your ass goodbye, grab the flotation device because we're ditching? Or is this, hey, you know what, we've got some turbulence and we're going to be okay, right? Apple and the tech sector are struggling. They're struggling. Doesn't mean it's going to last forever. For most people, you don't pay attention. No need to look at it at this moment, at this time, because you're in it for the long haul, right? For some people older, if you're smart with your investments, you've got out of certain situations, so you're not really worried about it. You're looking for more safe investment that's growth and long-term, and that's giving you back a little something with a safety net rather than certain things. But that market will drag and go certain places. And, tech is not, it's not doing great.
They attributed much of the weakness to China, and that sparked fears of a broader slowdown in the Chinese economy, which is a very important part of the global economy. And so we had many stocks that were related to Apple experience a good bit of weakness. Yeah,
Apple got its ass kicked to them. You release something every few months. Eventually, either people can't afford it, or they're just like, I don't need this one. I'll get the 11. I don't need the 10. I just bought the 9. And then what's going on in China? There's a lot of things because it's not just our marketplace. And this is where something is completely different. And it's a perfect example of how certain things differ. We're not talking. We got the shutdown going on. CNN's got the little clock up there. By the way, I think they need to be more committed to the clock. Either leave it up all day or take it down. Don't half-ass it with the clock. That's all I'm saying, right? MSNBC, Fox, you guys all do the same thing. You leave it up all day or take it down. But we've got a shutdown. And what are we talking about? We're talking about a wall. We're talking about billions of dollars for a wall that some people do want, some people don't want. Some people think it's the answer to everything, and some people think it's We're talking about that. No talk of healthcare. The rising cost of healthcare. Pharmacies last week all announcing what they're going to be doing in the new year. And it's here. Prices are going up. No talk about those things. No talk about those things. How do we address it? No talk about any of that stuff because it's tough. Because the Democrats don't really want the ball on this one, right? The Republicans, they half-assed it with Obamacare and the fix that they said they had for years, which they didn't have. We need to find a fix. We do. I know a lot of people there, single payer. It's not going to work. We don't have that kind of money. Right? Yes, we do. No. You look at every, not conservative, I'm talking about a conservative estimate from liberal think tanks. They're like, yeah, it's going to cost 25, 30 billion plus. Trillion, not billion, but trillion. Oh my God. Yeah. We're going to have to double corporate taxes, double individual taxes, and not the taxes we have now, but the old ones. And we're still not going to cover it? Ooh. You know what people want? They want stability, obviously. They want some security. They want the what if. Most people, they want the what if. Not if my daughter or my son or my mom or my uncle or what, they got the cold, they got a flu. Not that. Most people want the, what if you get cancer? What if you get hit by a bus? What? Because that's the fear, right? The big bankruptcy. Because most people out there are spending how much money for deductibles they're never going to reach. And then when you look at the pharmaceutical side of things, people always say, why does it cost so much here compared to everywhere else? Well, first, let's talk about everywhere else. Everywhere else lives off of our back when it comes to drugs. Everywhere else does. So you want to get a drug done here in America, right? You go and you're like, hey, we're going to do this. We want to get it FDA approved. On average, 11 to 14 years, $2.5 billion just to get it to marketplace. That's to get it to marketplace. That's not marketing. That's not any of that. That's just to get it to the market. And for every 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, depending on what study you look at, fail. Never get anywhere near there. So you got to make your money. You go to Australia. You're like, hey, Australia, like, good idea. Yeah, you got some drugs you want to sell us. Yeah. Well, what do we do? All right, we're going to tell you what you do. We're going to look at your drug. We're going to look at all your tests. We're going to decide if we want to let you come in here. And then if we decide that that's going to be all right, we're going to tell you what you can pay, you can charge. Oh. Yeah. It's not they can go anywhere else and charge. We're just talking about Apple. They can charge $1,000 a phone in China for an Apple. You charge $1,000 here. You go to another place, you can charge $1,000 in Australia for an Apple, $1,500 for an iPhone, whatever it is nowadays. I'm not an Apple guy. But you're charging something here that costs you $2,500 a month, right? You go over there, they may only say, you can only charge $300 for this. They got to make it up somewhere else. Everywhere else is living off our back. And in Europe and other places, if you want to take a drug to market, it's cheaper, it's easier, there's less regulation. Big Pharma's got to make money. People say, well, we should stop them from doing that. Really? So you want to limit them? So let me ask you this. You tell Big Pharma, hey, Big Pharma, we don't think you should be able to do that anymore. Big Pharma goes, well, why not? Because it's not fair. Okay. So you can only charge this. Oh, okay. I'm going to go to my investors and tell them that. You go to your investors and say, investors, there's going to be a cap on the kind of money you can make on this. So you want me to risk a lot for a little, or that's going to take a lot of years to see any return on, or I can go over here with a startup company that's making apps and I can risk a little for immediacy with the chances of making a lot of money. You take the green, and as they've looked case after case and study after study, what happens is people aren't going to make money. There's not going to be money for it. So you're going to lose innovation. What do you do? What do you do? It's a fair question. It's a very fair question. But for all of the talk of the shutdown of immigration, of all of these kind of things, the pullout in Syria, the fight between Pelosi and Schumer and Trump and all of this stuff and Ocasio-Cortez and everything, for all of those things, you and I, we're looking at our premiums go up. We're looking at people that talk a huge game. Right? Their mouths are writing checks that their ass can't cash, but they're doing nothing to sort this stuff out the way they should. We should all be frustrated. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Do love hearing from you. Oh, my Lord. Trump today talking about that wall.
I have never had anything like it in terms of calls coming in terms of people writing in and tweeting and doing whatever they have to do. I've never had this much support, and we've done some things that, as you know, have been very popular.
Very popular. The echo chambers with which we all live. Pelosi and Schumer and everybody over there, Steny Hoyer and them will all say, it's the most unpopular thing. Well, of course, you're in your echo chamber. It is. On the other side, Trump living in his echo chamber, right? He's hearing, oh, yeah, people love it. By our estimation, everybody we talk to that's voted for you, that likes you, loves what you're doing. Not solving anything. Not solving a damn thing. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us, Coachella. Somebody tweeted in they want Motorhead for Coachella. So we're talking about, with Coachella announcing their lineup today, I'm telling you, some of these bands aren't real. It's just, no, I don't buy some of these names. I don't. Oh, my God. This just, as you sit here, apparently there's a mystery. There's Gucci Mane, Little Pump, and Smoke Perp. You ever heard of that one, Phil? That's another one of those things.
No.
Smoke Perp. They're the Gucci Mane. They're going to be performing at Coachella, right? So good for them. I don't see my man Ski Mask on here. People like Ski Mask? Yeah. Idris Elba is going to DJ. He's going to DJ. He's an actor. You're going to DJ. Childish Gambino. Janelle Monáe. Never heard of you. You got big font, though. Chad, that's rude. No, I'm talking about the font on the flyer. The 1975 DJ Snake, Diplo, Rufus Du Sol, Blackpink. You're just making stuff up now. Anderson, I found this out. This is Anderson, Dot Pack, and the Free Nationals. Never heard of them. So I've heard of Childish Gambino, the 1975, DJ Snake, Diplo, Casey Musgraves. I'm looking here on this one. Jaden Smith. I've heard of him. Isn't that Will Smith's kid? Right? That's Jaden Smith.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Tame Impala, Solange, Kid Cudi. Heard of Kid Cudi. Weezer. Bass Neck Car. Wiz Khalifa. Oh, my God. I feel super orgasm. Serpent with feet. Listen to these names. You're just making stuff up. Oh, my God. So if we're going to have Couchella, we're going to get bands like Rush, and it's just going to basically be all YouTube stuff streamed together so you can basically watch it at your leisure whenever you want. Motorhead. That'd be fun. Lemmy's gone. You can still see him, though. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. TSA's got some new furry friends that are going to make everybody feel soft and cuddly. And did she or didn't she cheat? It's the Chad Benson Show.
Running with scissors sounds great compared to this.
Say what? You've seen them in the security line. TSA's explosive sniffing dogs, screening carry-ons, bags, and boxes. But there's a problem. Many of those canine cops have pointy ears that often frighten children and their parents. The solution? Airport screeners enlisting floppy-eared dogs, including labs. They say they have a more friendly and calming effect on passengers.
I don't care. I want the dog. I don't care if it's a Chihuahua. I want the dog that's going to do the thing it has to do to stop the person that's trying to take the plane down. Dog. Do you have that dog? I don't care if it's got one eye, it stinks, shakes a little bit, missing some teeth, tongue sticking out of the side. I don't care. I want that dog. We want something fluffy. I don't care. Right? I don't care. I know what I want. Right? I don't know if it's a three-legged cat, which, by the way, I have. For those of you who text me and want to know about my three-legged cat who now has 3 legs. Had 4, has 3. We changed his name, producer Phil. You ready for this? Oscar Catorius. Dum-dum. Partly because he killed a mouse. So we're like, oh, it's Oscar Catorius. Chad, that is not really nice. No, it's not, but it is funny. So we're just going to deal with it.
The Washington Post reporting that these types of videos are popping up on pornographic websites more and more frequently. Actress Scarlett Johansson has been targeted. Johansson telling the Post, nothing can stop someone from cutting and pasting my image or anyone else's onto a different body and making it look as eerily realistic as desired. She goes on to warn that this can happen to anybody. It just depends on whether or not someone has the desire to target you.
If you're going to take my head and put it on someone's body, could you please make sure that they're in really good shape? That's all I'm asking. That's it. But it is awful. And here's the thing. This right here is horrible. You're somebody like, any one of these stars that has this done. And it's gone on for years and years. The fake, look in here to see naked pictures of so-and-so. And it's their, first it was pictures and it was horrible Photoshop. But now they've got the deep fakes. And where you have to pay attention is they're getting so good at these things. And this is a test. Like everything, it starts with the sex, VR, all of these things, AI, but it goes to other things. And where we're headed, sooner rather than later, months and months and months from now, you're going to start to see it potentially with candidates, with people in public life, where you may say, I can't believe they said that, only to find out that that really wasn't them. And it's not a double. It's these deep fakes, and it is going to be real. And if you think that memes were crazy and they influence stuff, wait till you see what's coming. It's going to be crazy. It really is. It's going to be nuts. But it is coming. And with technology the way it is, it's going to be, by the time we get deep into 2020 and the election cycle and the whole 9 yards, it will be seamless. Got to do your homework even more. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. So people are telling me, my friend Tammy's telling me about Solange is going to be performing at Coachella. And that's Beyonce's sister. And the first thing that came to mind, the elevator puncher. Because you remember the elevator? She was in the elevator with Jay-Z, her sister Beyonce, and somebody else. And she went nuts and started punching Jay-Z. And here's my question. If that's a man, you want nothing to do with him ever again. She's going to be one of the headliners at Coachella? Really? Well, Chad, it's a woman beating a man. I don't care. When I was a kid, I was told, never put your hands on anybody, guy or girl. Like, it's a fair question to ask. Well, you just, and she hasn't had a hit. Do you think they're giving it to her because they're hoping Jay-Z and Beyonce show up? Probably. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. We're going to do Coachella. Tomorrow we'll announce some of the artists that are going to be part of Coachella. It's going to be fun, kids. Queen, I'll just give you a hint. They're going to be headlining one night. Somebody's going to hear that tonight and go, no way. I got to get tickets. It's not real. We're just having fun. A little parody. A joke. Smile. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Nancy Pelosi captained the ship that defeated the effort to privatize Social Security,
Titanic.
Rescued our economy in the midst of the Great Recession, saved the American automobile industry, provided affordable health care to more than 20 million Americans.
Wow! Look at that. And like that, 115th Congress, bye-bye. 116th Congress, hello. And now we have Nancy Pelosi. She won, right? She's a winner. It's what she does. You don't mess with Nancy Pelosi. You guys realize that you don't mess with... Does anybody realize that you don't mess with Nancy Pelosi? Does anybody understand that? Listen to her daughter yesterday talking about Nancy Pelosi. By the way, Alexandra Pelosi is her daughter. She's a documentary filmmaker. I will throw this out there as one caveat. She has a great movie called Hotel Kids about kids who basically live in hotels. That's what their family all they can afford, like right behind Disneyland. It's a very interesting thing. But listen to what she said. About her mom.
She'll cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding. What? That's all you need to know about her. No one ever won betting against Nancy Pelosi. She's persevered. You got to give her credit. No matter what you think of her, you have to give her credit because think about it. Think about all those presidents she's endured. The Bush, the Clinton, she's been through it all. So she's been around. This is not her first rodeo. So she knows what she's doing. And that should make you sleep at night, knowing that at least somebody in this town knows what they're doing.
Does it make you sleep at night? Look, I will say one thing. Like, you can dislike her all you want. I get it. I don't, she is, to me, as much a part of the problem as anything else. But she did come in at a time where it was totally different.
When Nancy Pelosi came to town, it was a boys' club. That was 30 years ago. It's a boys' club. Look around tomorrow. It's going to be a whole new America. You're going to see something so magical that you have not seen before. I know Trump gets all the attention and his wall, but if you think about it, when you think about how this country is changing fundamentally, when you look at who's representing us, it's going to be a beautiful menagerie. It's going to be a beautiful America, and I think we should all be proud of that. And we should just take one moment to exhale and say we should be really proud of ourselves because we have a beautiful-looking Congress.
Yeah. But is it effective, right? That's all I heard all day. Wow, this is the most, it's the most diverse, young, blue. It's just, it's got so many things. But my question is always this: is it effective? Right? Is it effective? Well, as a kid playing soccer, man, I played teams. I'm like, man, those uniforms are awesome. They look great. We would thump them. Right? Is it effective? But we now live in a world where it's not whether you win or you lose. It's how you look doing it that matters most. Right? But I give it to Nancy. Look, she's been around, right? She's sharpened her claws. She wanted to win this. And let me tell you something. You've got Ocasio-Cortez who's come on in and she's pissed a lot of these people off because, what's her name? McCaskill going out. Really kind of. Last week, she's the bright, shiny thing. She kept calling her a thing and all of it, just really kind of hammering away at, this. She's the new toy in the room, those kind of things. But the fact is with Ocasio-Cortez comes a bunch of other people who have different ideas than what Nancy has. And there's going to be a huge fight. We can talk about the Trump and Schumer, Pelosi, the fight and the battle that's going to go on and all of this stuff. But the fight within their own party is going to be interesting. Because this younger generation doesn't want what Nancy wants. A younger generation, and this is the thing that I think is going to be very eye-opening for a lot of the country that's in the middle that is Democratic, if you will, maybe states that are purple-ish, where the fight is going to really be eye-opening for them is because the coastal Democrats who are progressive, they're not Democrats like we think, they could care less what you think. They're doing their own thing, and the way that they want to do it, and you literally are flyover states. That, to me, is going to be interesting. The fight that's going to go on there is going to be just as interesting as what takes place because we know what the game is going to be with Trump and them. They're going to argue. They're going to scream and yell. They're going to tweet, to grab a microphone. They're going to do all of the things that we know is going to happen. I mean, it's simple and easy. We can point that out right now. I know exactly what's going to take place, right? The articles of impeachment, they've already getting ready to fire one off later on today, apparently. All of that stuff. But know this, already Democrats are voting not only against her as the leader, that whole kind of stuff, but voting against some of the stuff like PAYGO that's out there. What is PAYGO? It's pay as you go. Democrats don't like the fact that these new wave of people don't like the fact that the PAYGO is still there because it stops them from their social justice, equity, free everything for all. They don't like that. Ooh, yeah. Already there is going to be a fight, and this is going to be the fight, not for the hearts and minds of America, but for the hearts and minds of control in their world. And that, I think, is going to be very interesting to see what happens. Very interesting. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Carl's Jr. is doing something interesting. All right? And I like Carl's Jr., Hardee's, Carl's Jr. I mean, look, here's my thing. And Carl's is one of those places. I love a burger, right? I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I like meat. And they're going to have a plant-based burger added to all of their eateries, I guess, right? So it's called Beyond Meat. Now, the investors of Beyond Meat is Bill Gates and actor Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what's always amazed me about vegans and vegetarians and stuff is the want to not eat meat, yet the want to have something taste like meat. Right? That, to me, is very interesting. First of all, you can't call it a burger, right? Can we all agree on it doesn't count as a burger? Like a burger is a hamburger. It's meat. You can call it some sort of sandwich, right? But it's a veggie. No, it's not. But they're really excited about it. And I just don't know. I'm sorry. You go to Carl's Jr. not because it's good for you, but because it tastes good for your taste buds.
We want to be that group of humans that have separated meat from animals. And if we can, at the end of the day, look back on the work we've done over many decades to achieve that and have done that, that's a pretty substantial feat.
You know, one of the things I've always asked my vegan friends, because I got a few of them, who are like real vegan, like they don't butter anything, it's all slavery. If that animal should I pay the animal? I'm not quite sure how that works. Let's just say we get away from the whole meat altogether, right? So we say, we're not going to eat meat anymore. What do we do with the animals? That's it's all great if you want to bring your chicken home. Remember Snow? That chick was nuts. But the chicken, the lady who was like in love with her chicken, it was called Snow, I think, and she was beautiful. She was like, okay, so you took a chicken home. What are you going to do with all these cows? You taking one home? I'm not taking one home, right? I'm not. I mean, it's not unless I can eat it. I'm only taking it home in a package. But that to me has always been, an interesting thing. And look, we need to get healthier, right? I'm not saying, put it on your menu, but it's a weird thing when you ask the question of, okay, so we're no longer going to eat meat. Now what do we do with these animals? Do we turn them loose? Are they going to be running rampant? They don't need to reproduce. You don't want to hurt animals, yet at the same time I hear that they're a huge cause, especially cows, of global warming with their flatulence. So, excuse me, was that me? I mean, it is a curious thing of what do we do with these animals if we're not going to eat them?
Fast food really isn't about salads, it's about burgers and fries. And so what if we can create a burger that's really healthy, and so people can have the benefits of plant-based eating, but have it in the format of a delicious, satiating meat burger?
I would love, I try to eat pretty healthy, work out, do the things, but I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoy a burger. But it's like one of those things where if I'm going to get a burger, I want a burger. That's what I want. I want to eat a burger. And now you've got Beyond Meat. I mean, they're even trying to come up with meat that bleeds that's not meat. That to me is even weird. Like, that's even weirder than anything else. I think we'd all like to get to the point where we could just, here's a tube of something. It's a 500 calories and it fills you up for the day and it doesn't do anything to your body. You could just go on. But there is that, just like some people like a book. I mean, a lot of people like a burger and, but we are living in a different world.
We try to stay in front of the trends as much as we possibly can. So it really is a matter of us keeping our finger on that pulse. And, we feel that Beyond is a great partner to do so.
So we'll see. And I want to see what it tastes like. I mean, I won't eat a whole burger unless it tastes like a burger. I'm not going to lie to you. If it tastes just like a burger, that'd be great. But I think we all know it's probably not going to taste just like a burger. You will understand the difference. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. AMAC, love them. Partner with the show, and they're doing great things. They're the conservative alternative to ARP, right? You know, they're the conservative alternative to what's out there politically advocating against a lot of what you think, like Social Security reform, immigration reform, single-payer health care. They're out there advocating against those guys. They want Social Security reform in a right way. They want it to be around. They want immigration reform done in a right way, the one that actually works. They want those kind of things. And on top of that, they got benefits up to wazoo. You have no idea the kind of benefits they have. So many benefits: retail, restaurant, hotel, travel discounts, 40% off movie tickets, up to 40% off all kinds of amusement parks, Disneyland, SeaWorld, Legoland, and so many more. Why not join today? If you're over the age of 50, here's what they're doing for you. It's free. That's it. 1 year free. Go to amac.us/Chad. That's amac.us/Chad. They don't want your credit card. Just want you to join. It's that simple. Let them show you how great they are. amac.us/Chad. It's free for a year. amac.us/Chad. AMAC is better. Better for you. Better for America. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. ChadBenson. There is 5 of them, and they're addictive. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson Show.
Welcome to the Alt-Middle, where solutions live and ignorance dies. The Chad Benson Show.
The tellers agree in their tallies that the total number of votes cast is 430, of which the Honorable Nancy Pelosi of the state of California has received 220.
Speaker Pelosi to you. It's good to see Nancy finally win. She's waited a long time. She has. She's waited a very long time. So, hey, here we are, 116th Congress. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Trump has got a lot to deal with. You know, they're talking about tax returns. They're talking about, impeachment proceedings. And it is going to be very interesting. All of this is going on while we have a shutdown, while we have a fight over a border battle, immigration, rising debt, healthcare, all that stuff. And then inside of the Democratic Party, you've got people already jockeying for position for 2020. You've got Mitt Romney, firing over the bow, and I think going to be the mouthpiece for the moral conservatives, if you will, against Trump in some ways. But I'm sure they'll vote with him in a lot of things. But publicly, it sounds like he's going to be out. There's going to be a lot of interesting things that takes place. But I just sit back and I go, as a voter, as an American, I just want to see competency. I want to see things get done, right? And I am not so insane as to think that you're going to get 100% of everything. That, to me, is, and I talk to people every single day. They'll tweet at me, they'll, direct message me, they'll text the program, and they literally are 100% or nothing. And I'm like, how do you are you that way with your wife, with your husband, with your coworkers? Are you that way with, it's no. You're going to have to give up some stuff. But we have got, and both sides are guilty. And I think too many of us have these insane expectations that these people in some way, shape, or form are going to get 100% of everything. That is not life. It's not. Do you sometimes get 100% of something? Yes. But it's not all the time. And I think we expect them to always get 100%. Always. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We're talking about the vegan burger that's going to be there. And Patrick wrote it. He said, the ultimate burger is really good. I can't taste the difference. 3 different restaurants he's had it at. Cheesecake Factory apparently is one. I am one of those people, like, is it one of those things where, okay, you've got a burger, because here goes Carl's Jr. now. They're going to have a burger that is going to be totally meatless, beyond meat or whatever it's called, that they're going to have this. And I've got no problem with it. I'm not one of these things that I hate. I don't care if you go meatless, right? As long as you're not pushing me, you got to go meatless. You got to go meatless. You got to go meatless. I have no problem with that. My issue is I can taste the difference. Yeah, I would like to eat less beef at times, right? But if you have to put so much stuff on a burger or something to hide the taste of what that thing is that's supposed to be meat, like the big thing is if I could just put ketchup on a bun, take a bite of it with the meat or the meat byproduct or whatever it is, and can you tell the difference then? Right? Because if you put, like, if the burger's now 10 inches tall and you've got 1,000 other things and the meat is just basically garnish, then that's not a burger. That's just stuff. Right? 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Coachella. I was looking at the artists that are going to be at Coachella, and I'm like, I'm the get off your lawn guy. I tweeted, I feel like the get off your lawn guy, and I'm like, did I get old that fast? Right? Because I like Post Malone. He's not even there. Is he too old for that now? Like, who is it? Was it Tame Impala? Tamal? I don't even know. That's how old I am. I'm the get off your lawn guy. And I was joking about the fact that when I sneezed one time, my back went out. I'm like, I feel old. Yeah, it's happened to a lot of you out there, apparently. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Madam Clerk, the Speaker-elect, Nancy Pelosi of the state of California.
Wow! Here we go. Get ready for the wild ride that is going to be the next 2 years. And it's going to be a crazy ride for the next 2 years. I mean, we've already got people. Julian Castro apparently is going to make his decision on Saturday, his announcement. If you're setting up a time to make an announcement, you're usually doing something. Obviously, Elizabeth Warren's thrown her headdress into the ring already. Chad, that was rude. I said I was going to be a little snarkier this year, and so enjoy it. So, and now, you've got Pelosi leading the House Dems. And why that's important is because they're going to be able to start things. They won't be able to finish anything. But they'll be able to start a lot. And they're going to try. And so let the games begin. And unfortunately, we have too many game players in D.C. that I think it's going to be very frustrating across the board for a lot of us out there, because if you thought that we had in the last Congress that ended a little while ago, 115th, if you thought there was a lot of skullduggery and things that didn't happen the way they should have, and there wasn't any real progress in anything, guess what, kids? It's going to be really like watching molasses go uphill in a snowstorm. That's what this is going to be like. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. Love hearing from you. Many of you are saying, go try this burger. I'm going to go try a couple of these vegan burger things that you say are great. Here's my thing. I'm going to call you out on the air if they're awful. We might even do a taste test. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a taste test on the air. See if these things are any good. Right? Because Carl's Jr. is going to have a vegan burger now. So maybe we'll do a taste test. If there's one thing I can get on board with, it's a good burger. You're addicted to them. Maybe. It's all that dopamine. I think it's just the tasty ketchup and mustard and all of that stuff that goes on there. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Speaking of addiction, found this to be very interesting because, look, let's be real for a second, okay? Let's be real. Addiction's real. Like, for all the things we talk about, politics, the shutdown, the whole 9 yards, that stuff is just kind of window dressing on at almost time entertainment anymore. The reality is things like addiction are real. and the amount of people that are addicted and the problems we have with opioids and things like that, that's real. And you may never meet a politician in your life, right? You may never see a Nancy Pelosi, but chances are you know somebody who's had issues with addiction. It may even be you. So they did this big thing. These researchers got together, right? They all got together and they looked at all different researches that have been done. And they broke it down to the 5 most addictive substances in the world, right? And there's a little debate about certain things, right? But by and large, they were all kind of like, yeah, these are it. These are it. And it has a lot to do with things like dopamine and all kinds of stuff. And not everybody who tries stuff actually gets addicted to it. That's the one thing the researchers also talked about. The fact is, just because somebody does like a cocaine doesn't mean they get addicted. A lot of people don't. I've had friends who say, it didn't do anything for me. I had a headache and nothing really happened. So, but these are the 5 right here. We're going to break it down from you from 5 to 1. Do this.
Number 5.
All right, here we go. Number 5. I think if they found this today, we didn't have it, it would never be legal. Alcohol. And to me, alcohol is so dangerous as far as being the gateway side. Obviously, using responsible is great. But the reality is, and I think everybody knows this, that, like I've always said, the gateway drug is cigarettes and alcohol long before any of these other, it's marijuana, it's this, that, and the other, the craziness. No. All my friends who've had issues with drugs, and I've had a few of them have had some serious issues with drugs, they started drinking and smoking before they did anything else. 22% of people have taken a drink and who have taken a drink are going to develop some sort of dependency upon alcohol at some point during their life. 2 billion people use alcohol. 3 million died in 2012 due to the damage to the body caused by drinking. So think about that just for a second. That's nuts. That's absolutely insane.
Number 4.
All right, number 4. Interesting, to say the least. Barbiturates, downers, used to treat anxiety, induce sleep. Well, NEMBs, barbs, pink ladies, gorillas, blue bullets, as they're called, they're addictive. They interfere with chemical signaling in the brain, they say, which is to shut down various brain regions. At lower doses, barbiturates cause euphoria, but at higher doses, they can be lethal because of the suppression of breathing. So I find that to be, pretty, that right there is interesting because I wouldn't have thought barbiturates.
Number 3.
Another one of those things where if they invented it today, it wouldn't be around. If it came out today, they said, hey, we discovered this thing. What do you think of it? Nicotine. Yeah. Main ingredient of tobacco. So when you smoke a cigarette, nicotine is rapidly absorbed in the lungs. More than 2/3 of Americans who've tried smoking reportedly become dependent upon it in their lifetime. More than 1 billion smokers in the world. Get ready for this. More than 8 million people will be killed annually by 2030 because of nicotine. So that right there. And I'm telling you guys right now, if they invented it today, they would say it's illegal. Absolutely. And that's another, to me, a gateway side of things.
Number 2.
Cocaine interferes with the brain's use of dopamine to convey messages, prevents neurons from turning the dopamine signal off. 21% of people who try cocaine in their lifetime will become dependent upon it. So think about that. But it's only 21%. So you think, well, that's a lot of other people who don't. Yeah. But still, that's scary to think that 21% of people will become dependent upon it if they try it. And finally, numero uno.
Number 1.
Heroin. Heroin. Yeah. They looked at all of this stuff. They did all of this research. And here's what they found out. They gave it a 3 out of 3. That's the maximum score you can get. Up to 200% in 200% in experimental animals. That is when they tried these things with animals, they were 200% more likely to continue to try to do this. 5 times greater than the dosage to kill somebody with heroin. That's the scary part of heroin. So you don't even really need that much to kill you. That's just crazy. It really is when you think about it. $68 billion in 2009 was done and caught on the illegal opiates market. It's not going anywhere. We consume it. That's a huge problem here in America. But when you think about these and you look at these things, you can see the addiction side of it. And heroin leads to things like the fentanyl, the opioid addiction, all of those things all ties into one. It does. But these, according to researchers, are the 5 most addictive substances in the world. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Do love hearing from you. A lot of stuff still to get to today. I'm going to try a burger. It's my addiction. I don't know, donuts might be my addiction. But God, it's been a long time. I haven't had a donut because normally I have Donut Friday. I've been eating healthier. I got a jump start on everything. And I'm doing my Revitalize and eating so much. And so I haven't had a donut in a long time. I do like a donut, though. I do. What's not to love about a donut, right? Like nobody says, donuts are evil. They're not evil. They're tasty. Our Protestant bagel, that's what I call them. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. And I'm loving the Nancy Pelosi things. She is just... This whole thing is interesting as, you know, she's ready to roll. She's going to cut deals. She's going to do all these kind of things. They're you know, it is interesting, right? To see because Nancy understands what she has to traverse here. Because this younger generation that's coming in of progressives that want to push her to impeach Trump and to do everything they possibly can to push this kind of agenda. Nancy gets the flyover country. They don't care. They're living in Manhattan, in Silicon Valley. They're living in Seattle. They're living in L.A. They're living, you know, they don't care about the flyover country. Nancy gets the long-term thing. She understands that. She'll be Nancy still. She'll fight and she'll let him in on some stuff, but they don't care. And I think the fight between not only the president and the Democrats, but the Democrats inside is going to be crazy. They're going to go at it. And it's going to be funny to watch this thing break down when it comes to Trump, because already, who is it, producer Phil, didn't say somebody's already ready to introduce articles of impeachment?
Yeah, some representative from California, shock.
It's not Tom Steyer, is it? Because
no,
he's really excited about it. So the fight is going to be on. We played a trailer earlier, a suspense trailer. We'll put them up on the old Facebook and the website of what it would be like if it was going to be Trump versus the Democrats, the 115th Congress gone and the 116th coming in. What if it was a romantic comedy trailer? This Thursday, the oddest couple is coming to town.
Get it together.
Nancy Pelosi.
The administration is now deciding they'll make an assault on poor people in America. It's one of their regular themes.
Chuck Schumer.
President Trump has thrown a temper tantrum.
President Trump.
I'm working hard for you. I'm fighting for you. We're going to win. We're going to win all the way. We're going to win at everything we do.
And introducing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I'm really looking forward to us kind of advancing a progressive agenda and really reinforcing the messages that we won on.
Over My Dead Body, rated PG-13. Some material may not be acceptable for anybody who's an actual voter.
Hey, legislators, figure out how to compromise.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Twitter, love hearing from you. When did you start to get old? When did you feel that you were getting old? I said earlier, I saw the lineup for Coachella, and I thought, I don't even know who 90% of these people are. You know, I know who I know who a few of them are, but like the headliners, I was like, okay, you know, I know who that person is. I know who Ariana Grande is. I don't know who Tame Impala is. I don't know who, I know Donald Glover is, what's his name? Childish Gambino? Yeah, I think that's his name. And I just figured that out last week. I was like, oh, wow. Last month. I mean, that's the kind of I feel old, Like, when you're old, it's like when you sneeze and your back goes out or something like that. Or when you're like, oh, Captain of Captain and Tennille dies, and you actually know who Captain and Tennille is and what their music is, and you're like, oh, yeah, you're old. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Love will keep us together. You know what's going to keep you together? A better night's sleep. It's called a segue, kids. Write it down. Yeah. Keeps you, hey, a great night's sleep, you feel good. You wake up in the morning, you're bouncing, you're happy, you're more productive, life feels better, blood pressure's lower, right? You weight-wise, keep your weight off better when you feel good. MyPillow is going to help you with that in 2019. BOGO going on right now. Buy one, get one free. You want a better night's sleep? Yeah, you do. You want to feel better? You want a healthier 2019? It starts with your sleep. 100% machine washable and dryable, made in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. It is a BOGO. Buy one, get one free. Call 800-944-4975 or go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Benson, or call 800-944-4975. Get yourself the best night's sleep. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson. Got your useless fact of the day straight ahead. Chad Benson Show.
Experiencing separation anxiety? That's dumb. Check out Chad 24/7 at his website, ChadBensonShow.com, and on iTunes, free. The Chad Benson Show. Never feel lonely again.
This is America. Childish Gambino is one of three main headliners at the Coachella Festival in California this April, officially known as the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. He'll perform at each of the event's 2 consecutive weekends. So will fellow headliners Ariana Grande and Australian rock band Tame Impala. The lineup so far includes 165 acts in all. Rock, pop, R&B, hip-hop, and more. Tickets go on sale Friday.
Yeah, and those bots will snatch those things up, and then you'll have to pay a lot of money for those. I don't know. Childish Gambino? No. I mean, I've probably heard Donald Glover, that's his name, but I've heard some of that. Obviously, Ariana Grande, because, she's fun. And Tame Impala, no idea. And I was just saying, I just feel like, it's like you get older. Just because you get older, it's like, I still feel like I'm, like 20-something. I act at times like that, but it doesn't mean I keep up with the pop culture side of things, because first of all, I find a lot of it just to be, I just don't care. And, but the music side of it, I'm missing the ball on it, I think. Because I listened to Post Malone this morning. I told Phil, I said, I got fashion, Phil. I was listening to Post Malone. I kind of like him. And I've heard some of his stuff, and I kind of like him. I like Drake and some of the artists today. I'm not one of those too old to get off my lawn, but some of it is just, I just don't get it, I think. Like, I just don't. Like, I could see why mom and dad liked Elvis, and I could see why, the young kids liked the Post Malone, but some of it I just don't get. I don't, and it's interesting. But I said, you do know when you're getting old, and people are texting in going, one person goes, what's a Coachella? I'm like, well, you're old. If you don't know what Coachella is, a music and arts festival, it's pretty big. And then the other side of things is somebody says, man, I feel old because they just hired somebody at my work that's younger than my daughter, and she's 22. Yeah, I do it. I see it with the interns all the time, and even some of the staff around here. They're, like, they don't make you feel old. Like, in your mind, I think you kind of do, because you'll do it. You do a joke, right? You'll ever say a joke about something, and you're like, oh yeah, like you don't. Yeah, like we were talking last 2 weeks ago. We were talking about Die Hard being a Christmas movie or not, and we had a young kid here. He's like 23 years old. We call him the Hawaiian Crayons, my producer, and the Crayon said, I know, I've never seen it. I just thought, oh my God, everybody should see that damn thing, right? You think that, but I guess that's how your mom and dad felt when you watched an old show with them when you were younger. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Nancy Pelosi took off her her hats and glasses because she told everybody it's going to be the wildest ride in the West. 116th Congress in session. Let's get ready to rumble, I think, is what's going to happen. And it's going to be a lot of rumbling going on inside the Democratic Party, outside of the party with the president. Get ready for it, kids. Here's your useless fact of the day. The pound sign, the hashtag actually has a real name. Octroph. Octotroph. Octotroph. That is the real name. The pound sign. Get your Octotroph on. Have a good rest of your day. As always, night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.